NPV analysis is generally used in decision-making process for capital allocation products. In the pharmaceutical industry, especially in the drug research products, NPV analysis itself could oversimplify and may lead to objection. Real option as a tool of providing more flexibility in project management and decision-making would add more value to the project and alter the final decisions. Let's look at an example of vaccine research product. Assume we have 100 vaccines as candidates in the portfolio. Each vaccine candidate will cost $1 million to complete whole research and testing cycle. The assumed success rate of the whole portfolio will be 1%, which is one vaccine out of 100. The winner vaccine will bring $90 million terminal profit at the end of year 4. For a product without a real option, whole research cost will happen at the beginning of the product as the sunk cost, which is $100 million. 1 million costs per vaccine times 100 vaccines. That will produce a negative NPV of 39.28 million. By purely looking at NPV value and considering it as the only rule for product decision making, the decision will be not to invest in this product. Next, if there is a real option embedded in the product, which allows the research to be stopped and abandoned at the end of each phase based on the testing results, whole product cost will now be separated into 3 parts. Since the cost of each phase only applies to the vaccine research in the phase, total cost of the product decreased from 100 million to 49 million. By using NPV analysis, we can get a positive NPV of 14.77 million and an IRR of 19.5%, which is higher than the 10% cost of capital. Now, even though the 100 vaccine candidates are still the same group of candidates and terminal profit keeps at 90 million, final decision on the product has been changed from an undoubtful no to a confirmed yes.
So how should company broadly and strategically use option to manage project to its advantage in practice? First, company could use option when there is uncertainty of knowing how clinical trial or any future project turns out. The higher uncertainty of returns is, the more valuable option is. In our previous example, company's vaccine only undergo next phase when efficacy is high and get into production when expected return is really good. Once the return of vaccine is below threshold return, company doesn't need to care how bad return is because the downside is limited in real option. If vaccine only gives an average success, the positive return is not too high or negative return is not too low, the uncertainty is small, option will not give much value to the company. Second, using option, company could delay on decision making until more information becomes available. When the trial successfully passed in previous phase, company has the option to make additional investment in next phase. When the trial failed in previous phase, company has option to walk away and limit the initial commitments to a smaller amount. Does not need to throw good money after bad, preventing unnecessary future investment. The company could also sell the development to another company to partially recover the investment. Hence, there is a huge value of delaying decision-making for uncertainty to resolve by itself about what efficacy of vaccine is, what the future phase cost is, and so on. So NPV is increased using real options. Last but not least, option gives company opportunity to test a big portfolio. In our previous example, the business model of company is the company needs to develop an effective vaccine as soon as possible to end pandemic and captures a big market share. So company has to test a big portfolio of candidates at the same time. However, the company may have limited capital to test all of them in all phases. Option allows company to focus on a small subset with the most promising results. It would capture the large return with a minimum upfront investment. NPV is increased using option. So even though real option cannot improve success rate of vaccine or replace NPV calculation, real option can improve project NPVs, lower the total cost, help with decision making by delaying it until more information becomes available, allow company to test a big portfolio and help company capture large market share, which could potentially boost sales. So in conclusion, we recommend company to consider using real options when there is a risk in project success.